Hey there. Well, I did not get my sticker this year. You know, the one if you vote on a regular basis anyway, you know. You go, you vote, and you get the sticker. I voted. Well, I did vote, but I voted via mail back in September. So last week at the polls, I voted because I didn't go to the polls. So it inspired me, though, to suggest a sticker for future elections. I voted for Jesus. And I did vote for Jesus. No, I did not write Jesus in on any race. I may reserve that right for future elections, but no, I did not do that this time. But Jesus got my vote before anybody else did in any race, and especially not just before Election Day, but on Election Day. What does it mean? What do I mean when I say vote for Jesus or I voted for Jesus? Well, let's look at current events, and I think that helps explain. Now, as I sit here, Joe Biden has been declared the winner by the media based on the number of states that he appears to have won. President Trump has not accepted that result, and as I sit here, the news is filled with legal maneuvering that's taking place. So half the country thinks this election is done, it's settled, and probably about the other half, because the vote split about that way, thinks no such thing, that this is going to be settled ultimately by the Supreme Court. So, in all of that, with razor-thin margins in several states, here's what voting for Jesus looks like to me. Trust God with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. That is, of course, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. I think this passage is a great reminder that we are not in control of anything. However you feel. If you feel this race has already been won, if you feel it's being stolen, whichever side you're on, trust not in your own understanding. God has this. He has everything. Does that mean you shouldn't pay attention? Does that mean that you can't have an interest in it? No, of course not. But any control you think you have over it is entirely illusory and leads to stress and worry, which are sins. In all your ways, submit to Him. Give it to God. He already knows how it's going to end. Again, that doesn't mean that you can't have an opinion. But I just think it's a great example of what we're going through right now. Is a great example of what that Proverbs shares with us. You know, don't be glued to the television 24/7. Don't live and die, almost literally, on every development. Yes, you can be interested, you can be informed, but it is going to turn out how it turns out. And a heavy emotional investment is unhealthy, and it's not Proverbs 3, 5, 6. Next, a new command I give you, love one another. Just as I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this, everyone will know you are my disciples if you love one another. John 13, 34, 35. I've shared that one with you several times now in videos in the past, 4 to 6 weeks. It really doesn't have a use-by date. It's good anytime, and it's particularly good now. There are people I love with whom I disagree with on the way things are playing out. I don't have to agree with them. I love them. And I'm blessed that they love me. And we can disagree. We don't really talk about it all that much. But I have said this before. I believe that God is using 2020 as an opportunity to unite, which you may scoff at because all it's done is divide. It has divided us on race. It has divided us on COVID. And the numbers from a week ago show we are as divided as ever politically. So what in the world am I talking about? God doesn't waste anything. Division allows the opportunity for unification. And the church must lead in that. As I have said in previous videos, the church must lead in that. Love one another. Because somebody disagrees with you, because the truth seems so obvious to you, whichever side you're on, is not an opportunity nor an excuse to treat them badly, treat them with lack of respect or love. And again, those who do not believe are watching us. So this is an opportunity. God has presented us with an opportunity to love one another, especially particularly when we may not find people whom we normally love lovable. That's voting for Jesus. That's another way to vote for Jesus. And then I also want you to consider, again, these are all ways to vote for Jesus, but as Scott Sauls put it in his excellent little book, and I've shared this with you previously, Jesus Outside the Lines, Christ followers should be more comfortable with fellow Christ followers who don't share their politics than with non-believers who do. But how many Christ followers can say that? Don't just know that you trust Jesus. Live it. Don't just know it. Live it. In John 11, Martha and Mary send word to Jesus that their brother and Jesus' friend Lazarus is sick. Now lay sick. Lord, the one you love is sick. Then we read something downright head-scratching. Now, Jesus loved Martha and her sister and Lazarus, so when he heard Lazarus was sick, he took up. No. He stayed where he was 2 more days. He did what? Bethany, where they were, was less than 2 miles away. Short walk. Could have been there in plenty of time, yet he intentionally delayed his departure. So Lazarus would die, and glory would be given to God when Lazarus rose from the dead. Don't know how long this is going to take, as long as God wants it to. Vote for Jesus by being patient in this process. Go on, citizens. Continue with your lives. They're still there. I know they are COVID modified. I get that. But they're still there. Live your life. What's going to happen is going to happen. Things got really bad before they got really good for Martha, Mary, and especially Lazarus. God has this. Vote for Jesus by being patient. And pray. God is working while you wait. Pray. Pray for peace. Pray for justice. Pray for whatever you think is appropriate. That's what we're looking at in voting for Jesus in this post-election uncertainty. When we go beyond knowing of our own trust in Jesus and have an intimate relationship with him, we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him. Romans 8:28. He's at work. Vote for Jesus. The outcome will please you every time. God bless.